Welcome back, everyone, to our new podcast, Sow and Serve. I'm your host, Effie Arrington, and we have a very special guest today. Everyone, welcome the 2025-2026 National FFA Southern Region Vice President, T. Wayne Williams. Hey,
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it a lot, Sophie.
thank you. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. It's about to be Thanksgiving here in Tennessee, so we're all getting ready. I'm ready for my favorite mac and cheese is my favorite around the dinner table. So just worked some cows on the farm today, but yeah, ready for the Thanksgiving for sure.
Absolutely, me too.
Yes,
So before we get into these questions, I'm going to do a rapid fire round.
okay,
I'll give you 4 questions.
perfect.
So, number one, what's a fun fact about you that most people don't know?
Fun fact about me that I would say people don't know is I come from a fourth generation farm, but something that I absolutely love to do is where the rural town where I'm at, I am a huge golfer. Ever since 11 years old, when I watched Roy McIlroy win a PGA championship, I have been obsessed with golf. So I would say you are always going to try to find me on the weekends. I'm trying to go play 18 holes of golf. That's just kind of an obsession and addiction that I have is to the game of golf.
Yes, golf is actually really hard. I've tried many times in the past. I'm not the
No,
best golfer.
yeah, it's pretty tough. When I took my first golf lesson when I was 11, I remember I made like a triple bogey on the first hole, so that's like three over par, so not very good. The next time I make like four over par, and I remember I threw down my putter. My instructor back then was Mr. Barry, and I was like, Mr. Barry, this is not for me. This is not going to work out. However, he kept with me, and he helped me for about 5 years. And I'm still not that good, but it is a pretty fun sport to try to play because it is so challenging.
Yes. Okay, number two. So, being a state officer and now being a national officer, you do travel a lot. What is your go-to gas station snack?
Go-to gas station order. I am obsessed with a Mountain Dew. The OG. I gotta have the OG Mountain Dew. Gotta have one each day. So going with some Mountain Dew, and then the other one. People give me a lot of hate for this one, but I love them. It's just gonna be some Little Debbie glazed donuts. Just the little pack. That's the perfect combo. The Mountain Dew and the glazed donuts.
Yes. So, number three. What is your hype song that gets you
Ooh,
motivated?
yes, yes. The hype song that I have, and I just picked it up just a few months ago, but I absolutely love it when I'm headed to school, when I'm headed out for an event. It's the song that I first turn on. Never Get Used to This by Forrest Frank. It's the one that
Yes,
I absolutely
I
love.
love
Great
that one.
song. Great song.
Yes,
Love
I
it.
love his music.
Yes, it's awesome.
Okay. Last thing. What is the funniest thing a member has said to you?
Funniest thing a member said to me, let's see. There's been a lot of funny times within FFA members. I would probably say one of the best ones that I remember is at Tennessee FFA camp. We got the oldest FFA camp in the nation. I remember I was out there on the basketball court. I was trying my hardest, just trying to go in there and be the best that I could be. And I remember though I kept airballing the basketball, so my nickname became that week at camp Airball T Wayne. So that was a little rough on the ego, a little hurting because I'm just trying to go out there and play the best that I could play, and it wasn't working out for me. But Airball T Wayne, that kind of name stuck all throughout that week at
Oh,
camp. Yep,
that sounds fun. Okay, now let's get back to the serious questions.
perfect. All
So,
right.
so everybody has their own FFA journey, how they started it, whether it's a friend wanting them to do it or their advisor just pushing them. How did your FFA journey start, and who inspired you?
I'm a big believer that in this blue jacket, there's going to always be one person that truly helps us take that leap of faith. And my full name is Troy Martin Wayne Williams. So, Troy, he was my great grandfather. He started my family's beef operation in the late 1950s here in Woodbury, Tennessee. My grandfather, Wayne, he was actually raised on a family farm in Illinois. And currently, still to this day, my father, Martin, runs our family's beef operation. So I got all three generations of agriculturalists before me in my name. It was always a part of me. So I had no doubt when I entered high school freshman year, my grandpa and my dad both told me, Tulane, you are going to join an ag class. So I joined an agri-science class. At that time, I was still focused on basketball. I guess I was airball Tulane freshman year too, but I was really focused. And if I could paint that picture for you, I was about 5'4". I had a perm mullet, had some blue braces. I was thinking I was going to be the star basketball player for Canyon County High School. It's going to be the next Steph Curry, Sophie. That was my thought process. And I was thinking, this ag class is going to be a breeze. And I had no idea how many leadership development skills I could encompass throughout FFA. And that all changed with one person in my life, and that was my FFA advisor, Emily Haley. 2 weeks into my agri-science class, she hands me a Woodbury FFA chapter officer application. And I flipped through those pages and I read terms such as an LDE, an SAE, official dress. And to be completely honest, I had no idea what any of that meant. And I pushed it back to her saying, this is really not for me. I'm just going to focus on basketball. However, it's about 2 weeks later. I'm walking out of basketball conditioning. And at this point, I'm starting to see, man, this basketball thing, it's not really working out for me. And so I'm about 30 feet away from the school doors. It's a Friday afternoon. We're about to get a 3 day weekend. I'm excited. When that same FFA advisor, Miss Haley, rounds the corner of the hallway, she stops me. She hands me that application back and she says, fill this out and it's going to change your life. Now, I remember in that moment and throughout that entire weekend, those words just kept coming back to me of this is going to change your life. And so I filled out that application to the best of my knowledge. I didn't know a lot of it to put down on there. And I got elected Woodbury FFA chapter sentinel. And I can say that freshman year, I found a purpose, I found a passion, and most importantly, I found a community within the Blue Jacket. People supporting me, people wanting to help me, and that was something that was so special to me, and it really kick-started my FFA journey that has led me to have a heart on fire for service to national FFA members so I can showcase to them if we're willing to take that one step outside of our comfort zone, just take that one step. This blue jacket is going to open up so many doors of opportunities for us to really live out a mission statement of premier leadership, personal growth, and career success.
Yes, I love that story.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was a very important day that I didn't even think like this isn't going to mean nothing, and it was very influential.
yes. So, what moment in FFA made you realize this is something you was truly passionate about?
When I knew that, FFA, it was going to be a big part of my life, it goes back to my freshman year state FFA convention. So that was during the COVID-19 pandemic. So usually in Tennessee, we have our state convention in March in the Smoky Mountains in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. However, we had pushed it back to June that year during COVID. And so I'm showing up. I still got the perm mullet. I got the blue braces. I'm super shy at this time. And it's about to be the first general session. There is 4,000 FFA members all around me and they are singing and dancing in pre-session, getting super hyped for session one. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting in my chair, super shy, not wanting anybody to talk to me, kind of hoping, can we just get this thing going? When they come across stage and they say, hey, we need two FFA members to come up here and rap the FFA creed on stage. Now, Sophie, I knew right then, I was like, that is not going to be me. So I remember I leaned back in my chair just a little bit more. I was like, this is not going to happen. And that's when my FFA advisors, out of nowhere, they jerked me up. They popped my FFA collar. They put aviator sunglasses on me and pushed me up onto that stage.
Oh
Now
no.
here I am in front of 4,000 people. And I have no choice but to try to rap the FFA creed in the best way that I can. So I go up there. I give it my best shot in probably a slow country style rap. I end up winning the rap battle. And what really found the love and encouragement for me, it wasn't winning the battle. It was the next 3 days of convention, the amount of FFA members, advisors, supporters that would come up to me that I'd never met, I'd never talked to in my life. And they provided me with so much love, so much encouragement, so much support for taking one step outside of my comfort zone and doing something crazy like rapping the FFA creed. And that's when I knew that I was a part of something much bigger than myself. And I wanted to continue to try to find every leadership opportunity to give that same amount of support to others.
Yes, everybody needs a little motivation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Speaking of motivation, what motivated you to run for national office?
There's many reasons that went into me running for a national FFA office. There was a lot of thought, there was a lot of time, there was a lot of prayer that went into it. And really, Sophie, my family is the cornerstone of exactly who I am. And they are so important to me. As I talked about those three generations before me, and probably my best friend and my biggest supporter is my grandfather. We talk every day. He's just really special to me and a person that I really think my world revolves around, kind of. And when I looked at him I really do believe that our lives are defined by moments, just like that chapter officer application freshman year. And I think one of the biggest life defining moments I had was June 16th of 2021. Now, at that time, 16-year-old T Lane, man, he just had one goal. He wanted to win the Tennessee State trap shooting competition. That was the biggest goal. Now, kindergarten year, my biggest goal was snack time. Fourth grade year, it was winning the basketball game in recess. But 16 years old, it was to win that state trap shooting competition. And for 6 months of my life, you could find me 5 days a week at the OK Corral trap shooting range in Woodbury, trying to hone in on my skills and craft. I had never put forth that much effort into something like I did that contest. However, the day of the contest arrives at Nashville Gun Club, June 16th, and I walk out onto that trap line, and I just fall right on my face. I'm not able to hit the shots that I had made so many times in practice, and I walk off of that trap shooting line and I've got no chance of hearing my name get called come awards night. And there I am sitting on a park bench there at the gun club, and I'm devastated. I'm really thinking, I just let down my family. I just let down my teammates. I let down my community. And that's when my grandpa, he sat down beside me. He put his arm around me, and he said these words that I'll never forget. He said, I just want you to know one thing. You're my hunting dog, even if you never catch a rabbit. And that old country saying, it meant the world to me because it meant no matter how many times I failed, no matter how many times I came up short, he was always going to be there supporting me. He was always going to pick me. He was always going to choose me. And as I looked at national office and what an amazing platform it is, because truly, Sophie, I don't feel like anyone deserves a national FFA office. It is a privilege and a blessing to get to be a national officer. And I look at this platform as what an amazing opportunity it is to go into FFA members' lives and try to provide that trait that my grandfather gave me. To be willing to take that step outside of their comfort zone, and even if they do come up short, know that, hey, T Wayne, I believe in you, and I'm going to continue to pick you and choose you because this blue jacket truly does have the power of changing our lives.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Hmm.
So on the when you was out there in the audience, they was
Yeah.
calling the new electives to national office. What was your first thought, and how did you feel when you heard your name?
I remember when we're standing up there, we're swaying back and forth. They're about to release the nominating committee. What really came back to me in that moment, and it made me emotional in that moment, was all the people who had poured so much into me. And I think what was so cool, and I think there's always mysterious ways of really finding peace and clarity in some really serious moments. And I got to find one standing there in Lucas Oil Stadium in front of 70,000 FFA members was there were so many people that had poured so much into me, not just helping me in this national officer process for the past 5 years. And I remember as I'm standing up there, something came across my mind, and it was I heard just a few months ago before the election that national office, it is the peak of someone's life. And I'm sitting there and I'm swaying in this line, about to see if I'm going to get elected. And I'm thinking, if running up on this stage, if that's the peak of my life, well, then shame on me, Sophie, because that is such a letdown to all the people who have poured into me for the past 5 years. It's a letdown to an FFA advisor who's walked me through every moment of stress, anxiety, and fear. It's a letdown to a mom and dad who they don't really understand this entire FFA thing, but they see how much their son does. And they love him so much that they would support him in any endeavor that he would ever do. It's a letdown to every FFA member that I've got to interact with and showcase to them, hey, there's more outside of this blue jacket that we can grow in. And so as I got to run up there on stage, I remember it was complete shock. It was complete joy, but it was also thinking of all those people who have poured into me and how this year I don't want it to be about me. I want to be about pouring into other people and to providing that community for them and also understanding that this is not the peak of someone's life. This is a time to help others grow. It's a time to truly be a servant leader. And if I'm remembered in the next 10 or 15 years as a person who served as a state or national officer, then in my eyes, I've done something completely wrong. Because I want to be remembered as a person who spread love, kindness, and joy and laughter wherever they went. And I hope to do that throughout this role of a national FFA office. So that when we get back to October at National FFA Convention and I hang up that jacket, I can say that I did everything I possibly could do for every member that I interacted with to showcase that love, kindness, and joy to.
Yes, I love that perspective very much.
You.
So, what advice would you give to someone who's wanting to run for a chapter, state, or even national office?
It just goes back to taking that one step for me. When you're looking at even running for a chapter, a regional or state office, national office, there's a lot of variations that you have to come into. I remember many times throughout this process of running for a national FFA office where I would wake up and I would think about, okay, this is what I have to do today to prepare. And I would be lying to you if I said that there wasn't moments where I had thought about, why am I doing this? Why am I running for this? This is taking away time from my family. It's taking away time from my friends. I'm having to text them and say, no, I can't hang out today because I've got to go and do this speech. I've got to go and prepare for this interview. And there was a lot of stress that came with it. However, as you look at it, it's truly going back to being a servant leader, and it's going about giving people something of yourself. And one of the greatest pieces of advice that I gave and that I would share with somebody thinking about a chapter office, a regional, state, or national office is one of my greatest mentors, Andy. He would always tell me, there's a lot of power in having tired feet. And I would always say, Andy, what do you mean by having tired feet? And he says, well, when you finish your day and you're sitting down either in your bed, on a couch, in a living room, at a dinner table, and you're thinking, man, I have some tired feet, that means three things. That means one, you showed up. That means two, you served others. And three, you gave something of yourself to somebody else. And what I always loved that Andy would share with me is he would say, see, when you have tired feet, that means that your heart is working. And it's working for joy, it's working for kindness, and it's working to try to help others find that same passion and love. And so, what I would challenge them to do is they feel like they have a calling to go and serve others, to try to make a difference within people's life and truly love other people. Then I think that you're going to find that no matter if running for a chapter, regional, state, or national office, whether you get elected or not, you truly are going to grow as a better person and you're going to help the people around you. Is something I feel like we always mistake within national or within FFA and within any contest or accolade of running for an office, as if we look at, if I don't get elected, I'm not successful. But overall, if people get elected to an office and they just wanted the title and they just wanted the position and that's all they wanted it for and it wasn't for helping others, then that truly means nothing. And I think one of the greatest tragedies that we're going to experience in life is people are going to look back and think, I was successful in so many things that didn't matter. I got a chapter office and then I just sat back because I had the office or the title or position. So I would encourage them when you're thinking about running for that position, think about, do you truly feel like you have a calling to help other people? And if you do, try to find a way to ask yourself a question of how can I have tired feet every single day? Because when you have tired feet, that means you're working for others and you're working for kindness, joy, and love.
Yes, I really do love that as well.
Thank you.
So, what is the struggle that you have faced, and how did you overcome and learn from it?
There's been many struggles that I've continued to try to have to come over, and I can say that I've lived a very blessed life. I have an amazing family and an amazing support system that has continued to showcase so many times and so many variations of how they love me and how they want to continue to help me be successful. And I'm so grateful for that. But I would say is when I look at this process of running for a national FFA office, one of the greatest challenges hit right back in August. I just turned in my application. I'm getting really right into the heart of preparation and getting ready, and school's about to come into session. And I'm at the golf course because I love some golf. And I'm at the golf course with two of my friends when I get a call from my mom. And my grandpa, he was starting a fire that day at our farm. He had taken a stumble, he had fell, and he had actually broke his hip. He was headed to the ER. I remember I had to leave the golf course, went to the hospital with him that day, as I'm seeing him, my best friend, my biggest supporter, in so much pain. Because my grandpa, he loves to be a person with tired feet, with, boots on the ground, hands on, trying to help other people. And he's laying in that hospital bed, and you just can't do very much. He's in so much pain. I remember as I'm going back to class and I'm going back into preparation, something just felt so terribly wrong because I didn't get to see my best friend every day. I didn't get to drive over to his house and talk about how the cattle were looking that day or what was happening, what Gunsmoke episode he watched. It was just something that was always so special. And I remember I go to the hospital every night and I go see him. And something that he would continue to showcase to me was, even though he was in that hospital bed, he would say, "You still have a race to run." And there are so many people trying to receive this same prize. Run in such a way as to claim the prize, is what he told me. And he said, and just know, whether I'm here, whether I'm back at home, or whether I'm with you, I want you to run this race to the fullest. And that was something that I think provided me so much clarity of running for national office, as I knew, even though he was in pain and even though he was struggling in that moment, and I wanted to be with him, I needed to run this race. And I needed to run this race to try to find my calling and my purpose. And I can say that now, getting elected to a national FFA office and having this honor, I also remember the 31 people that stood down there and didn't get to run up onto that stage, and how they also ran their race and they found a passion and they found a purpose for FFA. And so when it comes nights when I'm hitting another plane ride, I'm in another hotel room by myself and I'm missing my grandpa, I'm missing my family, I'm missing our farm, I'm going to think about all those people that truly sacrificed so much for this process and would die to be in my shoes, and make sure that I truly am trying to run this race with purpose, with intentionality, so that we can make a difference in people's lives.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. So, what is your favorite FFA memory you have so far?
It's been many FFA memories that I look back on that are some of my favorites. And I mean, that Creed rap battle always sticks out to me as one that was just super special to me. And I look back at a lot, but I think my favorite FFA memory that I truly go back to goes back to FFA Camp Clements. We have the oldest FFA camp in the nation here in Tennessee. It started in 1929, and Camp Clements, it's always a really special place, and it's where I continued to find my love for FFA. But I think one of the coolest things I had within FFA is when I got to see how it impacted other people's lives, and I got to see that during my state officer year. Now it's 4th of July week at FFA Camp Sophie. Now that means hot dogs, that means pool parties, countless sports games, a fireworks show on Thursday night. It's literally one of the best weeks in Tennessee FFA all year round. But on day one, I met a senior from the Bradford FFA chapter, and his name was Daltrey. And Daltrey, he was an amazing individual. But I remember he told me on that first day, he said, "T-Way, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't really feel like I have a home in FFA, and I don't see how a whole week at this camp is going to be beneficial to me." And in that moment, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to think of what I need to do. And I fall back on that foundation that my advisor set for me that freshman year with that chapter officer application. I tell Daltrey, man, I believe that you can grow in ways that you never thought was possible. You're just going to have to take one step outside of your comfort zone. And I promise, Daltrey, I'm going to be there for that step. And I'm glad to say that Daltrey, he took that step. He played in countless sports games. He tried out for a Parley Pro class. He did extemporaneous public speaking in front of 200 people at camp. And that week at Camp Reflections, probably my favorite FFA memory is when Daltrey truly showed me what the heart of FFA is. He said, "T-Wayne, that one step, it's changed my life." And now he's a sophomore at the University of Tennessee at Martin. He's majoring in agricultural law and policy. Me and him still stay in touch. We're still really good friends. And I think that's my favorite FFA memory because I got to see exactly how taking that one step of an FFA member's life outside of mine truly can change our perspective. And it can help us fill this next pipeline of agriculturalists while also growing as leaders.
Yes, absolutely. That's also one of my favorite parts about FFA. Seeing someone who's just shy, including myself when I was a freshman,
Yeah,
just
me too.
expand out of their comfort zone and do so many wonderful things.
Exactly. It's powerful. It's awesome.
Mm.
Very cool.
So, what is one thing you hope to accomplish by the end of the year?
The one thing that I continue to look for throughout National FFA office that I hope that I can continue to do wherever I go is a slogan that we've continued to create. And I think it's going to continue to be with me wherever I go. I've now put it up on a board in my room. I've got it on my phone that I read every morning. And it's just two simple words, and it's just one. And what that means of just one is wherever I go throughout this next year, if I can make a difference in just one FFA member's life everywhere that I go, then to me, I truly am, in my book, the luckiest national FFA officer to ever live. because that's exactly what I'm excited to do this next year. I'm filling out a National FFA Officer information form the other day for our National FFA Officer coaches, and they asked, "What are you most excited for?" And it was to make those one connections with FFA members, and it was to try to live out a slogan of just one. If I can make a difference in just one FFA member's life, then when I do hang up that jacket in Lucas Oil Stadium, I truly can sit here and think, T Wayne, in my eyes, you've got to live out a year with so many blessings and opportunities, and you're the luckiest national officer to ever live because you got to make a difference in an FFA member's life, and that's something that means a lot to me. And I'm so excited to kick off this year to try to do exactly that.
Yes, I'm so excited to watch y'all grow and all the impacts y'all are going to make.
Yes, yes, we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
So I have one last question.
All right.
What is one thing you want every member to know about leadership?
Leadership, I think when you look at the definition term, it can be defined in so many ways. And when I look at leadership, something that I want to continue to showcase is truly putting others before ourselves. Something that Trey is always really big on, and that me and him connected on so many times, was significance over success. And truly, when we love other people, when we're living for a purpose and a passion, not just another accomplishment, not just another accolade, then we truly are going to make a difference. Throughout my FFA journey, I was so determined on focusing on winning career development events, winning leadership development events, that by the time of my junior year, I kind of experienced a burnout where I was like, what exactly is the point of this blue jacket and this organization? Because I was focused so much on accolades and success. And the biggest thing that I would want an FFA member to know is success. I hope that all of us are successful within this life. I truly do, but success is just about us. It's just about your own person, your own identity. But when you focus on significance, taking that success, taking that talent that you have and showcasing it to others, then you're going to live a life of significance. And significance is fulfilling. Success, you can do a lot of things with success. You really can, and it's a great thing, but it's never going to be fulfilling, and it's only focused on yourself, not others. And so I would really try to hone in on how can you find ways to be significant. Take your talents, take your blessings that you've been blessed with, and try to showcase it to others. Because if we can do that, then we truly are going to make not only this organization, but this entire nation and this entire world a better place.
Yes, I'm going to use that. That is really touching.
Thank you so much. Yes.
And thank you so much for being on this podcast for our first
Absolutely.
guest.
No, yes, I appreciate it. FFA and the USA reporters, each of y'all, you truly are being a voice for FFA, and you're advocating on an amazing level. And so I appreciate what you're doing for this organization to showcase people who maybe they don't understand exactly what FFA is. We're showcasing exactly how it changes FFA members' lives, and it lives out a vision statement of growing the next generation of leaders who would change the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you.